Pandemic is a social issue to an extent. I think that the widely spreading of one disease is because too much proportion of people are being driven to struggle for works, studies, relationships or other living issues. I see the pandemic as a social issue. I mean, when people have been under pressures for a long period, their body's conditions are easier to be infected by viruses or bacteria. And then if an infectious virus or bacterium gets into the public by chance, it will spread widely in a sudden. This is the background I think a pandemic can happen. When most people are driven to work, overuse their bodies and energies in a long period, they would suffer losses both physically and mentally. Even these losses can't be seen outside, but it is true inside body. When the body is busy and working or kind of thing, its immune system is in lack of energy, and it can't start a powerful immune response to the intruders of viruses or bacteria or other injuries. This makes the body look well although some damages have happened, because there isn't serious immune response and any obvious symptoms. I got this idea from a book named The User's Manual for Human Body written by Wu Qingzhong. It's about traditional Chinese medicine health. Some ideas of traditional Chinese medicine sound confusing, but this idea is clear and I agree very much. There was a time I thought cancer as infectious disease very much, because the causes of cancer can be attributed to lack of nutrition, overuse or misuse of bodies, mental pressure, pollution and so on. And ultimately I can summarize these to the limitation and struggling of lives. Life pressure. People rely on each other in the society more and more with the development of society, and pressure can be transferred among people like viruses. So I think cancer is an infectious disease. And if so, fatness, overweight, hair loss, almost every disease can be considered as an infectious disease. It's weird. Desire, peer pressure, living in this society, no one can avoid these, but not everyone can success to overcome these or reach a compromise with them. When these people get more and more in proportion, the members' health situation of the society changed, and they are prepared to be infected by infectious viruses or bacteria. And eventually, it developed into a pandemic. I was deeply into this idea in iteration, until several months ago. I talked about the 2 plague cases in Inner Mongolia with a medical student. He didn't agree very much what I said, like I mentioned above, and said to me one big reason of a plague occurring is people connect to each other too much. This makes the environment for spreading viruses. After that, I realized that it's difficult to explain this idea exactly to others and I was so deeply into an opinion. So don't be so absolutely into one opinion. Try to be practical. And I think the idea, pandemic is a social issue, could make sense to a certain extent. Hope what I write is clear and makes sense.